right, Emily, we are back for episode 2 of The Mom Game. We've made it a week.
Episode 2. I mean, and they said we wouldn't last, and here we are. Episode 2.
I think we could do a million. There's
Haters
so
take
many,
that.
Exactly.
Haters take that.
There's just so many things that we can talk about when it comes to life, being a mom, working, balancing it all. And I think in this second episode, we just kind of wanted to talk about that whole work-life balance thing and maybe pull back the curtain a little bit on what a day in our lives is like, and maybe some of the biggest things that we're struggling with, because probably a lot of people out there are struggling with some of the same things. And I know me personally, I'd love to hear some ways how you're able to stay sane through it all, because sometimes I can't figure that out.
Yeah, I'm actually not. So
I think you are. You're doing a really good
job. Hate to burst your bubble.
But yeah, just like a day in the life. I mean, for you, what is that like, and how hectic is it, or not hectic if you figured it out?
No, it's always hectic. But I wanted it before we get too far deep down this road. So in episode 1, we kind of introduced ourselves, gave the background on each other, kind of, familiarized our listeners and viewers with who we are if they weren't aware. And so I think these early, podcasts, I think are going to be, these early episodes are going to be just kind of a little bit of a glimpse inside to what makes us tick. And then we'll start incorporating some of those, bigger issues from outside and all those kind of things, which is what we kept talking about, that we wanted to do, was create this community of people who were going through similar things or could help with the things that we're going through. Yeah. We're going to talk sports. We're going to talk Rangers and Stars and Cowboys and Mavericks, and we're going to do all of that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, this show doesn't exactly have a set format. It's just kind of whatever.
Just checking in weekly.
Wherever it takes us each week. And so, early on, I feel like it is important, though, to let everyone know, where we're coming from, who we are, all those kind of things. And I feel like the question I get the most from people, especially anyone who's interested maybe in this field or a working mom or anything like that, is always like, what is a day like for you? Yeah. What is a day in the life like for you? And so for me, it's two very, very different things. So I have what's an off-season day like for me, and then what's an in-season day like for me. So right now we're still in the off-season technically. I mean, not for long, but off-season days are spent, shuttling kids around, largely in yoga pants with no makeup on and a ponytail or a baseball cap. It's such a beautiful thing. So off-season days look way different than in-season days. So for me right now, I mean, I get up at my husband gets up at 5 to work out. I get up at 5:15. I go run while he's working out and the kids are still sleeping. And so I work out in the morning before they get up, because if I don't do it before they get up, or if I don't do it first thing in the morning, it doesn't get done. Yeah. If it doesn't get done, I am a raging bee. I'm not raging, but it's so good for my headspace if I can sweat and breathe hard. If I can sweat and breathe hard in the morning, it makes my day so much better. Yeah. So I get up, work out, come home, get breakfast ready for the kids, make sure they're, bathed and have brushed their teeth and have their lunch and all the that comes in their backpacks, back in their backpacks.
Did you take out the take-home folder? Did you look at their homework? I always forget.
The take-home folder. It's every night. It's there, and there's so much stuff in the folder.
I know.
All right, so we'll get to that in a minute. Bookmark take-home
folder. Yes. Got it.
So make sure, get the kids off to school. So I take the kids to school every morning, pretty much every morning, unless I'm out of town. And so we carpool with a kid in our neighborhood named Ben, who is our family friend. So Henry and Hattie.
When you can find a carpool friend.
Seriously. Well, and right now it's one-way carpool. Like, I'm the only one carpooling because I'm doing Jeff, Ben's dad, a solid, because Lisa, was way too much information.
No, it's not.
Lisa, my girlfriend, works at Lockheed. She has to leave for work at 6 a.m. And so Jeff is there solo. They have one that's still in preschool. So I'm doing him a solid by picking up Ben so he can just be with Sydney.
That
and he
is
doesn't
so
have
huge
to,
for him.
Yes, but yes. I expect extreme payback next year when Sydney, the daughter, is in kindergarten, and they're all 4. So all 4 of our children will be in the same school, and so I'll get my payback then. Mm-hmm. So get them to school, dump them off. and then go home, and then I just start. I work, which sounds weird because I'm not technically working, but I do still have other stuff going on. I own a business. I have several side gigs, which I hate that term.
We need to do a whole show about
on the side gigs.
The side gigs. Your side gigs, my hesitation to try a side gig.
Right,
and then I backed all the way back out and I haven't done it since, besides this. But that's a whole nother thing, because I think a lot of moms are trying to find that extra way to make money where they can stay home and be available for the kids. And there's a lot of opportunities out there for that. And I love how you just try them all. Like,
well, everyone's selling something. I mean, everyone literally. But I think when I first started doing direct sales, my side gig, I mean, I hate that term.
Boss mom, boss lady,
boss babe. Bitch. I mean, it's like, oh, so annoying. But I feel like people were like ashamed, like, oh, they're going to think my husband doesn't make enough money.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, that's the dumbest thing ever. Or like, what will they think? Whatever. And so I embrace all the side gigs, not all of them. But anyway, so I work on that stuff.
Yes.
I PTA really hard. I PTA so
Good
hard.
For you.
I do the science lab volunteer.
You do it all.
Library volunteer. But my thing is, I try to, in the off season, do as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because I'm gone a lot during
disappear.
baseball season. And so I try to like be overly aggressive with the momming so hard in the off season.
Like, who fills the void in the PTA? Doesn't that leave a hole when baseball season?
It just depends. Like,
does the PTA handle this okay?
They're okay.
Okay.
Trust me.
I don't know. I'm not there yet.
At our school, there are plenty of parents who want to be a part of the PTA.
Okay.
So I pick projects that like coincide with the schedule.
Gotcha.
It works out quite nicely. And then this is something psychotic that I do. I get in the carpool line an hour early so I can be in the front. And that's a little neurotic. But what I
with the kid?
No.
To pick up. Okay.
And so I pick up in the carpool line. I get in an hour early because I can sit on my computer and I can work in there. And if I get out of the house, it's less distracting. Like I'm not doing a bunch of stuff in the house that'll distract me from what I'm trying to do. This off season, my project was to learn Spanish. And so I would sit in the car in the carpool line and do my Spanish for an hour a day. And so
you have your laptop in
the car. My laptop and my phone, and I'm doing
notes. You have a Wi-Fi situation?
I have a Wi-Fi situation.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then I wait for them to get out of school, and then they get in the car, and then after school is just a total S show. Just like I said, like the emptying of the backpacks. Like their backpacks weigh 800 pounds, and it's like you come in and that you lay everything out on the counter, and there's like lunch boxes and folders and papers and projects and stuff you need to read and respond to and sign, and it's just a lot.
And are your kids like, they're older than mine a little bit, but are they like terrors at the end of a school day? Because mine are. Like my 4-year-old, it's like, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm cranky, I also need a treat right now. And what are our fun, exciting plans for the night, or else I'm going to be very upset with you if you don't have something planned.
Yeah. They come home ravenous. My kids eat lunch at 10:45 and 11:15, and I'm like, no wonder you're hungry. Like you haven't eaten and you've been on the playground and all that kind of stuff. So so then they come home. I try to, appease them. We don't do devices during the week. Sometimes I will let that go and I'll be like, oh, go play, go play for, 30 minutes. If it's nice outside, it's like, go shoot hoops, go ride your bike, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we eat dinner with the blue hairs at 5 o'clock. I mean, between 5 and 5:30, we eat dinner as a family. And then probably usually we try to do something as a family after dinner, play basketball, play a game, whatever. And then we start the bedtime routine at like 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then it's hopefully in bed by 7:30, 7:45. You can read in bed, and then lights out at 8:30. And then I immediately head downstairs, pour a glass of wine, and celebrate the fact that I have kept 2 human beings alive for yet another day.
Oh, man. That's the best part of the day. I think I almost like texted you a couple weeks ago, and I was like, it's 9:30. This is like the best hour of the day for mom. I'm not even going to bug her about anything because I know we're all the same.
Yeah.
But for me too, like that's when all my other stuff piles up. So I feel like I can't even relax sometimes until after I hit that hour. And then it's like, okay, I need to clean. I need to do this. I need to reply to these emails and all of that. But what we have in common is the wine coming out at that point in the night, and it just like I don't know. It helps you relax.
For me, it's like a
bit.
reward. And people are. I had a reunion with college girlfriends last weekend, and they were like, "How much is everyone drinking?" And I'm like, "I have a glass or 2 of wine every night, and I make zero apologies for it.
Yeah,
zero. Like if I was drinking a bottle a night, it might be an issue."
Right.
But I'm not saying that doesn't happen every once in a while on the weekends or a holiday, special occasion. But I'm like, for me, that's like it's like part of my routine.
I know.
Is that just like my reward? Like, and I don't know. And maybe that I'm sure some people are like,
no,
that means she's having 10 glasses of wine a week. And it's like, yeah. But I don't, I mean, to me, it's like, that's my reward. That's my happy time.
We don't get many rewards as a busy mom. Like, we really don't.
Yeah.
You know, all day long, it's doing something for somebody else.
Yeah.
And so even if it's just a glass of wine, I think that's fine to justify. For me, too, it keeps me from snacking on other things as well.
Right.
Just having that glass of wine. But yeah, I mean, I want to get to your off-season days because I know they're going, your in-season days. I know they're going to be a lot different. That setup sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah,
You're
good.
Basically kind of like, you know, not stay-at-home mom because you're working, but you're able to be there for everything.
Yeah, you're making your own schedule.
If someone gets sick during the day, or if someone's like, Mom, I fell down at recess and I'm covered in mud or whatever, like, you're available to help them.
Yes.
That's something that I'm struggling with, is not having that like flexibility during the day.
Because you didn't work for a while.
Yeah.
So you went from working full time, then you had kids, didn't work, and then went back to work.
Yes.
How is
weird.
that back and forth and back? Because I kind of do that. I guess I kind of do that from in season to off season.
Right.
How's that adjustment been like for you?
It's been really hard, but even when I was working like full time at Fox, I was freelance. So I kind of was able to make my own schedule. And, you know, if I wanted to go in at 10 one day, I could go in at 10 one day if I had something in the morning, or I'd just stay extra late the night before to take the morning off the next day. Except for, obviously, like the games and the hockey games I was covering on all of that, which wasn't easy either because my husband and I were both working at night. And so we had to find a really good sitter at that point. Granted, Ryder was just really little, and we only had one, but it was finding a really good sitter to do bedtimes and all of that for the game days. So I did that for a little bit and then didn't have a job all of a sudden, you know, didn't really plan for that, but I was pregnant with Anna at that point. So I was not working home with Ryder and pregnant. And boy, let me tell you, like, all of the emotions of just like being in limbo at that point in my life, like so many things up in the air. I tried so hard to really embrace that time I had with Ryder because I didn't get that when I was working, and I knew that he was going to have a sibling too. And that's like a whole nother thing. I'm sure you remember just that those feelings when you're about to go from 1 to 2. And I was like really sad about losing that alone time with Ryder. Mm-hmm. But I tried to just enjoy being home and spending time with him. I got really into playing tennis during the day, like almost 5 days a week, you know, and it's really easy to pass the time. I didn't have a bunch of side gigs like you do. But I knew I was home, and I knew in that, like, I don't know if it ended up being like 7 or 8 months, I knew that's not what I wanted to do forever. I really appreciated it, and I appreciate the people that do stay home, but I wanted to get the juices flowing again when it came to sports and work. And that's why I was kind of like, and it's a weird place. It's a weird place when you go from like having this job that's kind of essentially like a dream job to like not having a job and being in this industry where it's hard to find the right, there's not a ton of jobs available, especially if you know where you want to be. Like if I knew I wanted to stay in Dallas. And then just trying to find the right thing, and not just, you've probably teetered on this line when you're working in sports and you're working in media. It's like you either stick with it and you keep trying and trying and trying, or you just say, you know what, F it. Like, I'm going to go work in PR.
Right.
Or I'm going to go do marketing, or I'm going to go do just something like normal and just have a normal schedule and probably make a lot better money, like in my case at that point and now. But I wasn't there yet. You know, I wasn't ready to just say, let's just go do something totally different, because this is what you go to school for. This is what you're passionate about. So that's why I ended up reaching out to Sean Bass at the Ticket, and now I've been there almost 2 years, and I'm constantly weighing the pros and the cons, because the hard part is that you have to be there every day from a certain, right. I'm on the air 10 to 3, but it's essentially like I drop Ryder off at school at 8:30 and I go straight there, and then I work until about 3:30, and then I go straight to pick him up. So it's like there is no downtime, and then I pick up Anna, and then a lot of times I'm home alone because my husband travels a lot during the season. He's like you, but like reversed. When his off season hits, he's home 24/7, which is like a whole nother thing. It's like, wait, you're never here. Now you're here all the time. Yeah. But it's a lot. It's like, 8 a.m. all the way until bedtime, like at 9. And then you've, like I referenced before, you've got to clean up, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And then you're just kind of exhausted. So I'm constantly weighing
is it worth it?
Exactly. Is it worth it? And my job right now is like so unbelievably fun. Like it doesn't cause any stress. I don't stress about going to work. It's just fun. I laugh a lot. I'm like, okay, Julie, like where are you ever going to get to do this?
Right.
And when I wasn't working at Fox, you miss the camaraderie of being around people all day and all of that.
Yeah,
like
and
you
just
feel lonely.
Miss being with people who share common interests with you on a regular basis because you got conditioned to that.
Right.
And so that's what I've always said. Like now that I've kind of experienced both worlds, to me, it's 10 times harder to be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh my gosh.
10 times harder. Because once the season starts, I can escape that. Now, with that being said, I mom so hard basically from, 5 in the morning until 2:00, and then I have to go work a Ranger game, be there from 2:30 till 11:30, and then I come home and it's back up. They don't care that I worked until 11:30 midnight. They don't care that a game went to extras and I didn't get home till 1 a.m. I mean, I'm still up doing the same routine. So, that does make things a little trickier during the season for me. But I will say, once this time of year rolls around in March, inevitably, I'm like, it's time to go back to work. And it's hard because now that my kids are older, I always thought it would be easier once they got older. I remember leaving them as babies thinking, oh my gosh, this is so hard. And it's so much harder now.
Really?
Oh my gosh, 10 times. Last night, example. Last night we're playing basketball. Hattie wanted to go wanted me to go watch her do gymnastics in my room. Henry wanted to play basketball. And so I was like, I told Hattie I would go do this. He was like, Mommy, you broke a promise.
Oh,
and you said you were going to play pig with
like
me.
Emotional.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And he was like, I just want to spend as much time with you before you start traveling. And I'm like, oh, here we go. But I will say this, and yes, that tugs at your heartstrings, but my kids now know how to manipulate me.
Okay. That was my next question.
They know.
Yeah.
They know when it's that time. They know that they can tug at me with that.
Why are they so evil?
They can be assholes sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, they
so
absolutely
sweet,
can't.
so evil.
Love them with all my heart. And I love that they want to be with me all the time. But it's like, it's also given me this, like, I've had to, kind of figure out how I'm going to approach that. Like, yes, my schedule sucks sometimes, but it's also like, this is a dream job for me. This is what I've always wanted to do. And I also don't feel like, am I at every baseball game, every, soccer game for my kids? No. But someone is. And that's why I always tell my kids, I'm like, it can't always be mommy, but someone will always be there to watch you. Someone's always going to be there to support you. And you know what? Mommy's job is important. It's important to our family. It's important to me. And this is just the way it has to be. And I'm sorry my schedule stinks sometimes, but mommy has 6 months off of work, for a chunk of time. And then I go back to work. And so, you know what? Life is just, it's not fair and it's not exactly how you want it to be all the time. But this is important to me as your mom. And this makes me a better mom when I'm able to do this, because if I were to walk away from it just because I thought this was going to make you guys happy and just because it was going to make our lives easier as a whole, that wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair to me. And honestly, it wouldn't be fair to my family, because this makes the situation I am choosing to be in makes me a better mom. And only you as a mother, as a woman, as a wife, as a man, as a husband, as a whatever, only you can decide that.
Right.
And so just because society has put on this, and granted, it's the way it is. The man works, the woman, it's debatable, right?
Yeah.
Either she does or she doesn't. It's never a question whether the man does, right? And so, but for us, there's always this question, there's this battle, and there's this back and forth and all that kind of stuff. And it's just the way it is. And so you can't ignore it. You can't be like, no, what are you talking about? We're all equal. Well, no.
I know.
Bullshit. That's not true.
I know.
And so you just have to think about it. No. And so you just have to say, this is the way it is. And this is how we're going to talk about it. But used to, I didn't know how to handle those situations with my kids. Like I felt so guilty. And then finally I started having, it sounds strange, but like not standing up to them, but expressing to them.
Well, and they're a little older now. They can get
now
it.
They understand. Right? And so now I tell them, like I explain to them, like I feel like I was like, you guys are old enough to understand. This is why it's important to me. This is important to our family financially. It's important to mommy personally.
Yeah.
It's just important to me.
Yeah.
I went to college for this for a long time. I worked really hard to get to where I am. And so I think that you have to take ownership of that as a working mom or even as a stay-at-home mom. Whatever role it is that you have to embrace it, and you have to be able to communicate it to those who ask about it. Because it doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom or if you're a working mom, you get asked about it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
I mean, I remember one of my girlfriends saying that she went to like a, reunion of some sort, and it was all these, highfalutin moms that didn't work and whatever. And that's great. But she said one of them, she's like, it was great, great girls. And then one of them looked at her and she goes, oh, you have to work. Like, oh, you poor thing. And she's
you didn't marry well enough.
Right?
You have to go find a job.
No, I just I want to work. Right? Just like you want to stay home, like kick ass.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right.
But don't act like, don't pity me.
The judginess
you know what I mean?
is in so many things that have to do with parenting is really just something that I can't handle.
Oh my gosh.
It's like to each his own.
Just wait until you get into like
That's
elementary
what I've heard.
school.
That's what
honey,
I've heard.
Just wait.
But it seems like most people that I know, whether they're stay-at-home mom or they're working, it's always a little bit like the grass is always greener.
No doubt.
Like the stay-at-home mom is kind of like, oh, what'd you do at work today? Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
I've just been like folding laundry. And then I'm sitting over here looking at the stay-at-home mom like, oh my gosh, you got to like relax and fold laundry? Like I can't fold laundry until like 11 p.m.
Right.
And then it ends up not happening and like stacking up on a pile that's taller than me.
Okay, so totally off subject. How often do you do laundry?
For me,
Not off subject.
I don't have a good routine. It's when I have a window of opportunity.
Right.
And like right now, for example, I've been putting dirty kids' clothes in the washer because I figure that saves me a step than from like putting them in the laundry basket and then bringing them and bringing them. So I have it like piled up. So tonight I'm not going to get to. Tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah. So
Which
I'm
is terrible.
Totally. You'll learn this about me if you don't. I'm severe OCD.
I know. I've noticed.
So my kids have
Your
chores.
eyes bulge a little when you say
I know.
severe
I'm
OCD.
like, so my kids, part of their chores, so they get
Yeah.
an allowance every week and to do certain chores. And part of their chores, this is almost embarrassing to say out loud. They have to bring their dirty clothes down every morning.
Okay.
And their hangers.
And their hangers.
And
Like
this
what
is
all the hangers?
There should not be any empty hangers in their closet.
Okay.
So there's no empty hangers in
Do
their
you hang
closet.
all of their clothes?
All their shirts. Well, no, I mean,
Okay.
Right. So their shorts and underwear and socks and stuff are in drawers.
Okay.
Like all their shirts, all their pants.
So you hang
are on hangers.
Okay.
And so if you take something off a hanger, you need to bring it downstairs and then bring your pajamas downstairs, put the pajamas in the washing machine.
I'm confused.
Why? What is confusing about this? It's actually brilliant.
Wait, they bring their pajamas downstairs.
After they get dressed for school
You're
upstairs.
already thinking about pajamas?
They have to take the pajamas off. Where are they going to put them?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
They have laundry baskets.
The
but
other end. Okay.
Right. This is the morning, Julie.
Gotcha. I know,
morning.
but I thought you were already planning for their pajamas for that night.
No. So the morning they take off their pajamas, they put on their school clothes,
okay.
they bring down the pajamas and the hangers, and they have to make their bed. And then they come downstairs, put the pajamas in the washing machine, the hangers, there's a rack where the hangers go, and then, whatever, then they resume. So then I do a load of laundry every single day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
With the clothes that they wore the day before.
With the clothes that they wore the day before. And anything that's accumulated. Workout clothes for my husband and myself from the morning. So I do a load of laundry every day.
So like first thing?
Usually it depends on if I'm going to work out, if I'm going to shower, when there's a lot of...
So you do like the family's laundry of the day every day?
Pretty much, yes, every day. Okay, and then also to have to peel back the curtain a little bit because I'm not doing this all by myself.
This is very interesting.
I have
You're an interesting study.
You have no idea. We have a housekeeper 2 days a week. That was our nanny for a long time. And then now that the kids are school, she's like nanny / housekeeper. So we have her Tuesday, Thursday. She works for us from, in pretty much all day. And so she helps keep me. She does everything I do, but she does it better. It's so amazing.
I'm surprised you let somebody come into your house and mess with your systems.
It took a long time. She's been with us she's been with us 9-10 years since my husband and I have been together.
So she knows.
And she knows how crazy I am. So I'll tell her Vicky, I know you think I'm crazy, but when you fold the jeans, can you put the back pockets kissing?
Oh my gosh, Emily.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Like, have you looked into like
no
a drug for
no,
this?
No. It's fine. And everyone used to tell me like, oh, this'll all change when you have kids. And I'm like, no, it won't.
Wow.
And it sure hasn't.
I
and
need
so now
a
my
little
kids
bit
are
of you.
I know. It's a lot. It like I can't. Okay, so this
You're like sweating just talking about all the OCDs.
So when I get home from work from the ballpark, I do it's called my sweep. I do a sweep through the house. So I pour a glass of wine and then I go room to room to make sure everything's in order so that when I wake up in the morning, I know that I'm starting with a clean slate.
Wow.
Aren't
you tired at that point?
I should not. I should.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with being organized and being clean.
Maybe like it's like being on our second date and I'm telling you all of my crazy. Like, I should like at least hold some back until you fall for me.
You know what I knew what I was getting myself into when I proposed this relationship. Yeah. So it's good. No, it's all good. I'm just so extremely opposite, but I frustrate myself because I don't make it that much of a priority. I need it to be a little bit more of a priority than it is. I'm kind of doing the bare minimum. Like I cannot sleep with like a messy, if there's any sort of food out or any sort of kitchen situation, like that's my big thing, obviously. Other than that, I try to just straighten. But you know what I was thinking the other day? I'm like, why did I go to school for journalism if I spend 70% of like my day cleaning the damn house?
Oh, yeah.
It's so overwhelming.
Oh, and I get like super, like last night, and I get like super PO'd about it. So like that we have a puppy. I mean, she's a year old now. I mean, she drags shit everywhere. Like there's and I'm trying to keep everything so clean. I'm super OCD and like I get everything. No. Stop. Everything's great. And then she will run in and muck up, jump on my white bedspread. And then there's paw prints. And I remember last night I was like, oh, if you need me, I'll just be cleaning up the dog prints. Just clean. That's just what I do all day, every day. Like just cleaning up the paw prints.
So you let her on the bed?
And I didn't mean, the kids were doing gymnastics and the door open and yeah, whatever. And so I'm like, well, if y'all need me, I'll just be cleaning up,
This is all I do.
Yeah. And they're like, now at this point, like they've heard it so many times. They're like, oh, okay, Mom. All right.
Well, I'm glad to know that doesn't quit because I'll find myself talking to my 4-year-old. He's 4 at bedtime and he's like, Mommy, come lay with me. I'm like, Ryder, do you understand all the stuff that Mommy has to do?
I know.
Mommy still has to go do this and Mommy still has to go do this and Mommy still, and then I'm like, what are you doing? You're like venting to your 4-year-old and all he wants you to do is lay in bed with him.
And so that's what you have to do. You just have to stop it and lay in bed with him.
And I do.
So,
And then I fall asleep.
I do this.
And then I don't do any of the stuff that I need to do.
Yeah, but I think too, I mean, even as crazy as I am, I do take that time to, I mean, if they need me, I mean, Hattie even last night had an issue like where she was having a hard time at school and she wanted to talk and I wanted to get through something and I was like, screw it. I'm just going to, that all can wait. She's upset and, so I think there's a balance of it. So, I mean, I'm crazy, but I'm balanced crazy.
They probably appreciate about you that their life is organized because they say it can bleed into like,
we'll see.
If a kid comes up in a chaotic household such as like mine.
Well, I mean, I think they're seeing a good mix of OCD and chaos. Like it's just like chaotic OCD. So we'll see. It's a work in progress as we all are.
Yes, for sure. That kind of like a little bit plays into the other thing I think we were going to talk about, unless you have something.
No. What is it?
Well, we were just going to talk about like the types of moms that we are. And
I think we should save that because I think there's so much to get into.
It's been stressing me out a little.
What, the type of mom you are?
No. Coronavirus.
Stop it. Why are you stressed out about the corona? Julie, there's like, why are you so scared of it?
I don't know. I'm scared because it's like there's no answer and there's no plan.
But like, don't you remember like Ebola?
Was it like this though? Was it like every time you got on Twitter?
Mad cow disease. Well, that shit wasn't around. Twitter wasn't around.
Well,
maybe so it was, but it just wasn't so prevalent. You're fine.
I've heard up until this point, there's been no kids that have gotten it.
Super because their immune systems are kick ass because they're used to fighting off all kinds of.
Well, we don't have to have coronavirus.
Well, no, I mean, we can't. I'm just telling you, I understand why you might be concerned. Episode 3 is about what type of mom you are. I'm going to have a recap from Ranger spring training.
Okay.
And we'll tackle the coronavirus. So we already have the rundown.
Okay, I need you to have a cure for that too. Like, just work on it, figure it all out.
I'm in.
But I don't care about anything. Like, I'm the most laid back person about everything. But for some reason, this is like really creeping me out.
Gotten you. Wow,
it has gotten me.
That's something. Okay,
but yeah, no.
All right. If it's
I
still
won't stress.
Everyone come back for a coronavirus update in episode 3. Then we'll have the very, very latest.
I think that hopefully it'll be over with by then.
I'm
hoping. So you're off to spring training pretty soon.
Yep.
You
Spring training's
excited?
coming. Can't wait. It's a fun time. I take the kids and my mom, and then they'll stay with me half the time, and then they'll come back and I'll stay there.
Okay, so they get to come with you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
So you
And
don't
then
have to
here we go.
dive right into the feeling guilty for not being their thing. You can ease into it.
Ease into it.
Yeah.
Get them ready for it.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. I don't think I have anything super exciting coming up, so I'm just going to keep on.
Coronavirus watch.
Yes. I'm on it. I am on it. But
Okay.
yeah. Anything else? Are we good?
No. Are you ready for another awkward dismount?
Yes.
We need to have like a code word or a secret
I know.
signal, like wink twice means it's time to go.
I know. Like, peace out.
No. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
We need like a tagline.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining the mom game, where we've got all the
Emily.
bases covered.
Game's over.
Oh yeah. Game over.
Game over.
Game over.
Till next time.
Yeah. Awesome.